You've raised an important point and a larger question that obviously has to be addressed. But you look at this particular issue, ma'am, constitutionally, the governor, sure, out of, his own sense of morale can act. But he's also guided by the constitution. He's also guided by what he can and cannot do. We have courts, for example, maybe to deal with the situation that you're referring to.
I think he's exercised an ethical and moral prerogative. Now, whether it is legal or not, let the legal pundits debate it. But I think here is a man who has exercised his moral and ethical power and situation. I think that's what he's done. And he's been brave enough to do this. He's been brave. Instead of asking what has compelled the governor to do this, we are asking why has he done it? He was bound by the aid and advice. Why has he done it? I'm asking you, under what circumstances has he done it? Why is the Indian Constitution giving a different set of standards for an elected representative? And why is the Indian Constitution? And why have we questioned it? We don't have an independent, you might just say, well, what can we do? I think this country needs an independent ombudsman.
Sure.
Because the political parties themselves don't have ombudsman in their own systems. If they had ombudsman, then why would they at least not have suspended him? Why could they not even have suspended him when he is being taken to task by the enforcement director? And they have evidence against him. Otherwise, why would he go and get into judicial custody? Because judicial custody is done after whatever evidence you have,
sure,
the courts have assessed it.
You've raised, ma'am, you've raised a very valid question, yes, about why there's no action against Senthil Balaji despite the serious allegations against him. But when you talk about an ombudsman, can that be the governor? Why does that have to be the governor? Considering, of course, that in this particular case, while you're saying that the motive could be that nobody was acting, so he had to act, what if that motive is different? What if it stems from political vendetta like the DMK alleges?
My friend, I think we are mistrusting now everybody. Problem is all trust. We don't trust EDs. We don't trust anybody of our own. We don't. But the question is, why should they be? They are both in public service. Elected representative and an appointed person. Both. But if the criminality, same kind of corruption allegations are against a public servant, he would have been suspended by now. But when it comes to an elected representative, he continues to be in government. And the Chief Minister does not dismiss him. The party does not disown him. And Election Commission doesn't come in. Courts looking at whether the governor had the power to do it. But people have elected him. People do not have an organized body which takes them to task except to vote him out after 5 years. Public memory being short. I think that's where we have probably gone very weak. We need to address this issue. What is it that, thank God, let's say, I think instead of wondering why has the government done it, the governor done it, I would say why wouldn't he, why should he not? He is the one who actually swears them in. He is the head of the administration. He is the protector of the constitution. As a lieutenant governor, I swore, I remember, to protect the integrity of the constitution.
Considering that you're also speaking about how your term as Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry was, ma'am, would you have taken a similar decision? Would you have done exactly what Governor Ravi is doing now?
The question here is, I'm asking you whether I would have done it or not is not the issue. That the courts will decide, for governor, courts will decide, I cannot. I'm not a legal pundit. I'm saying this governor has dared to exercise the moral and ethical authority as the head of the administration. This is what he's done. Now, whether it's legal or not, the courts will decide. But what he's done as a head of the administration, where a person alleged to have dealt with corrupt measures, not dismissed by the Chief Minister, not taken to task by the political party, people of the power, electorate have no powers, they're not organized. Courts come in much later. It will take, and even if he was charged, he would have still continued to be in government. Question is, why do we have two kinds of standards? Both are meeting a public purpose. Both are in public service. I think that's a question to ask. What's not right? What's not right with the system? Why had the governor to do this? knowing that he needs to consult, or maybe knowing, or maybe he took a chance that he could exercise his discretion to take care of the morality and ethics of public administration. This is what my real challenge is. Now, there is always a conflict in an administrator, is look at the law and look at the interpretation of the law, and law is not minus morality. Law is never minus ethics. Law is never minus larger justice. Law is never against larger good of public administration. That's what I think I would look at. I'm turning your debate a little upside down.